T-Man 978 Chill Review. Hello everyone, T-Man 978 bringing you Transformers Masterpiece Soundwave. This is Hasbro's Toys R Us exclusive version. Even though it just says Masterpiece Soundwave, he comes with his 5 Masterpiece minions. Considering all that, this is going to be a long video.
You get your popcorn, bitches.
Let's start looking at this awesome packaging. It's a nice thick box with this reflective Decepticon logo right there that wraps around the box. Right here we see that he's part of the Thrilling 30, the 30th anniversary of Transformers. He's number 9 of 30. Collect them all, each sold separately. Anywho, he was released actually before the 30th anniversary. He came out like August 2013. But yeah, on the back we got the product shots right there. See what he does. They actually named the characters. I didn't even realize this till just now. The red one is Rumble, the blue one is Frenzy there. Buzzsaw, Laserbeak, and Ravage. For me, I'm gonna call that Rumble. He reminds me of the show so bad that that's Rumble. He's colored just like the show. That's gonna be Rumble, and that's gonna be Frenzy. But officially, that's Rumble and that's Frenzy, just like the original toys. Over here we have the tech specs. You can pause that and look at that. And here comes his bio. Behind his impassive expression, Soundwave is as cold and ruthless as they come. He cares nothing for right or wrong, for the advancement of a cause, or for the welfare of his fellow Decepticons. All he cares about is information, and he acquires it any way he can. He spies on everyone from the lowliest Autobot scout to Megatron himself. He hoards information the way a miser hoards gold, sharing it sparingly, if at all. No one knows what the true purpose behind his excessive data collection is, but all fear him for the secrets he keeps. Wasn't that dramatic? Just in case anybody cares, here's the bottom of the packaging, and in order to get at these characters inside, you have to open this flap and take this little this paper cover off, and then you can open the flaps on the side and get at them. But enough of me talking about the box, let's get at what's inside. Masterpiece Soundwave is packaged with his hand rifle, sound enhancing hand, I don't know what it's called. It goes on his hand. A clear Energon cube. Optional chest information grid. A miniature Megatron for him to hold. Rumble and Frenzy's pile drivers / weapons. All 5 of his Decepticon cassette minions. Soundwave himself. And finally, some lackluster instructions. I mean, for everything else to be so premium, these are just lackluster. They're not in color. And then they don't even mention everything. They show you that he transforms in 27 steps. So right here, they don't even mention that little hand weapon, so I don't even know what it's called. On the back, they took a simple approach too, by condensing the instructions to the 2 robots that look alike, these other 2 robots that look alike, and then Ravage. We get to see their steps over here. They actually say 9 steps, but they included the little camera inside of Laserbeak's head as a step. And down here you see the pile drivers as a step too. 2 steps. But of course, he would really just transform in 10 steps, you can see there. And 8 for Laserbeak. But enough of that, because you don't care.
Human, I suggest we start things off with my main man, Laserbeak here. While you're at it, I guess you can cover his friend, Buzzbeak, whatever his name is. He was only in like 1 episode. Since he was originally packaged with Soundwave, there was no need in featuring him on the show. So hop to it.
As you command. Masterpiece, Laserbeak, and Buzzsaw. They both come packaged in this cassette tape holder, which is really cool and really realistic. just to let you see, Generation 1, the original Laserbeak, can fit inside of this cassette holder too, which is really cool. Anyway, let me transform Laserbeak, or let's show you the details. Here's some realistic tape details. It has a lot of panels, so you know that's not a real mini cassette. And you can see the whole robot underneath of there. It's masked up. It doesn't look like anything, but it would look weird if you didn't know what that was. Here's the original Laserbeak for comparison. And of course he has tape detail right there. And like some other tape markings right there. That's what he looks like on this side. So they're vastly different on the robot part side. And the original had die cast, this doesn't. Transformation is really simple. You take your fingernail and press this right here. That will make his head pop out on this side. Take that out. Now grab these wing bits, bring them forward on both sides. Now go ahead and rotate his weapons up and bring that little tail fin right there up. Bring the feet down, bring them forward, bring the wings down, and here you have Laserbeak. Let me go ahead and transform Buzzsaw off camera. And here they both are in robot mode, or robot condor mode. Anyway, here's Laserbeak, and he is really cartoon accurate and way more posable than the original toy. For some reason this thruster is lifted up, which is annoying, but there he is. His articulation, his neck can go up like that and come down like that and bend. In the movie, and I think in some of the actual cartoons, he had this little camera that lifts up out of his head. It's so small. Let me see if I can actually focus in on that. Come on, yeah, there we go. It's a little camera up there. Posability, you can bend their legs down so they can perch up like that. And you can bend the wings, and you can lift the wings up like this if you want to. Makes them look more like a chicken. Anywho, here's Buzzsaw. His main difference color scheme was, both of their eyes are yellow, but he has a yellow beak. And basically, the only thing's different is it's yellow instead of red. Yellow instead of red, and he has a yellow beak. Whereas Laserbeak has a dark gunmetal beak. But he has that camera up there too. Comparison to G1. Let me put his wings back. There you go. These have more sticker details right there, which of course wasn't present in the cartoon. He has silver chrome weapons. The neck articulation is amazingly the same, which is kind of disappointing. I wish his head could turn left or right. And of course, he can't do the leg stuff or the wing stuff that this one can do. And unlike the original toys, the weapon, as you saw, was a part of the transformation. The originals, you had to actually put the weapons in there. And he's a little bit more gold than Buzzsaw is. Well, he's gold. Buzzsaw is yellow. The Masterpiece Buzzsaw is yellow. But anyway, that's that. Let's get to the next set of minions. Now we have Masterpiece Rumble and Frenzy. For lack of confusion, the red one officially is Rumble. Blue purple one is officially Frenzy. And there's their tape detail. They look like this on the other side. Here Frenzy is compared to his vintage original self. They pretty much line up identically. This frenzy is a little bit longer. The Masterpiece frenzy seems a little bit longer. But that's that. Rumble and Rumble. Their transformation doesn't hold together as well. But here's this. You can see they had tape detail right there. And other little tape markings, just like Laserbeak. And you can see Takara down there. But anywho, let's get to transformation. Let's do Frenzy. First you lift this up like that, lift this up like that. Get them out the way. Turn it around so you can see some robot parts. Bring this down, unaccordion the legs, twist it at the ball, and bring that foot down. Same thing over here. One, stretch up the waist, bring the arms down, pull out the hands. Come on. And then flip up the head. The reach in there and grab it. Come on. I don't remember ever having trouble with this. But once you're on camera, bring up the head, rotate it this way, and now you have Frenzy in his robot mode. The reason why I call this guy Rumble instead of Frenzy, on a cartoon, this was his exact color scheme. Like, as you can see, this Frenzy is blue with dark blue. On a cartoon, he wasn't blue and dark blue. He was always purple with a lighter purple. And Frenzy was black and red. And this is black and red, so this is like identical. But this is way more reminiscent of the cartoon. So I call this guy Rumble. So anyhow, let me get Frenzy transformed off camera. Now both of them are in robot mode. And these two little guys are a show stealer for me. Because look at them. Look how detailed they are. Look at that face. Very cartoon accurate. Look at the details there. Articulation. The head can do 360. Because of the transformation joint, you can make them look up. They have a hinge right there in the shoulder, and it's on the ball joint, so all types of articulation there in the shoulders. Single joint for the elbow. I wish he had swivel. He doesn't. And the wrist can go inward like that, but that's more for transformation. The waist you can bend down for some fake waist movements. And the legs, they're on a ball joint in there, so they can go out. And there's a hinge right there so it can kick forward. But you can combine those two joints. There's a hinge in the knee right there. And there's another hinge in there, so he's sort of double jointed. Then he has a ball in the foot that can tilt about that much. Go back about that much and kick forward. So, really, really cool. Weapons and accessories. I already have Frenzy holding his guns. I like to give them two separate personalities. Rumble mostly used his pile drivers on the show a lot. So I like to keep Frenzy with the handguns. And right here, inside of the pile drivers, they have this cap that connects it together. And their weapons can actually be stored inside of here. They go in there a specific way. You could just slide them out. Slide them out. And if you want the weapons to be stored on their back, you keep that big peg out. A little peg for their hands, big peg for their back. Just store it on the back. Maybe I should turn around and see what I'm doing. Big peg. So they don't have to necessarily hold them. They could have them on the back, and usually on the show, even when they were holding a gun, they would typically just still have these on their back. Sometimes they did it correctly and they would have one missing, but that show is full of errors. Killing two birds with one stone. Here's Legends Rewind, I think that's his name, Autobot cassette from Generations. That's the size comparison. And one little cool thing, Legends characters can actually hold these weapons, which is really cool. So if you have Legends, Rumble, and Frenzy, they can actually hold these Masterpiece weapons. But if you have these Masterpiece figures, I don't see you playing with this little crappy thing. So let me get him out of here. Even more options if you want to. That little cap I took off of the pile driver, you can go ahead and stick it into this little gap they have in the back. And then you could just have like a jetpack, even though they could just fly on their own on the show. If you wanted to, you could store the pile drivers back up into here. Come on. And there's an option, but of course, he's back heavy. But if you wanted to be realistic and show where they're actually keeping this stuff, there's that option. Let me stand you there. Well, let me take this off his back. Okay. Connecting the pile drivers. What you want to do is put the hands in. Put the hands in this orientation. Then you grab the drum, push the arms in until they click. Let's do that on this side. Push it in until it clicks. Push these covers down. And now you have Rumble with pile drivers, which is really cool. And he still has articulation right there. And they extend so you can pretend he has that pile driver action, which is really cool. Getting them to stand up like this can be a little bit tough, but there you go. And you can post his head up like that so you can see Autobots coming at him. But pretty much that's that. So I think I covered all the things that these little guys can do. But wait a minute, I didn't do comparisons. Here he is compared to his original self. Significantly taller. And now here we got this guy. The details are close. This one actually has like die-cast feet and a die-cast joint in there. Neither one of these have die-cast. So that's that. Let's get to Ravage. Next up is Ravage. Ravage is a little bit more complicated than the other Masterpiece cassettes. Here he is next to his original self. You can actually see Ravage's head on the original on both sides. And he looks like a folded up dog or cat right there. This one looks like this. No resemblance to a cassette on that side. Just looks like a bunch of mechanical parts. But anywho, let's get to the transformation. First thing you want to do, pull these two parts. And many people forget he has a little nose hidden in there. Keep this fingernail for little things like that. Close that together and you have his head. And now let me look at the actual toy instead of through the viewfinder. Move these parts, unpin them, or unpeg them, and move them forward. Now bring these parts back. And before you bring them all the way back, where's his little tail? There it is. There's the tail. Go ahead and pull the feet out. I know this is hard to follow because I'm all over the place. Squeeze these down And basically, here's his rear legs. You could fiddle with them later. That's basically the side of his front legs. Basically, turn this around like that. Same thing over here. Flip the tape cassette part on the inside and bring the legs out like that. And then you bend his body and bend the head down. And now he's a Jaguar. And just like Laserbeak, his weapons are incorporated. He's decently articulated. Like he has a ball joint right here, and I don't even know what to call these on a cat. His shoulders. And of course these can rotate out right there. There's like a elbow right there, and then the paw can go all the way up and down like that. Back legs, I guess you can experiment and pull them out like that, but I don't know if that really helps anything. He has no swivel in the rear legs. The knees can be bent that way or back this way. I guess this way would be more accurate for an animal. But basically, he stands good. Let me bring in the original Ravage. Original Ravage is a little bit taller, and just like the other cassettes, he has die-cast parts. So he's a little bit heavier than this guy. But he's very freaking flat right there, as you can see. A lot of people thought that Ravage was like a Doberman because he has those light colored legs. I mean, front part of his legs, or forelegs, whatever you want to call them. And the rest of them is black, like a Doberman. But he's really supposed to be a Jaguar. But anywho, there's that. I almost forgot this comparison. This is Universe Ravage right here. Their first attempt at trying to incorporate the weapons into the transformation. But yeah, this is nowhere near Masterpiece. He's a little bit bigger, and he's a little bit thicker in cassette mode, and this doesn't look like a cassette at all in cassette mode. But look at that ugly bird beak face they gave him. But this is far superior. Finally, we reached the main event, Masterpiece Soundwave. Being the Toys R Us version, the first thing you'll notice is he has a yellow visor instead of red. They wanted to make him have G1 toy accuracy. And this guy is really, really cool. I have him in a plain basic pose here, which is boring, but I'll put him in a good pose later. But anyway, he looks like he jumped straight off of the screen. There's a lot of cartoon details, plus more intricate details that he never had on a cartoon, like the gears in the back of his legs right there, and the back of his knees. Some metal details back there that's painted. This doesn't come off like a battery cover like it used to. But now his concussion blaster can aim up to the sides and come around and just store on his back. So now it's like his batteries are stored on the outside, which is kind of weird looking. Maybe you could pretend these open up and you put the batteries inside of there. But anywho, it's really good. Has a ton of features, so let me get into that. I already mentioned the concussion blaster. These buttons right here on his crotch plate, the fast forward and rewind actually press in. The other buttons don't. Let's see. His number one feature, you press this eject button and this cassette deck opens up. And the amazing thing to me, a lot of people don't notice, when they own this toy, they actually searched out to buy this, and they don't know that you can put more than one cassette in there. They kind of get stuck, which is annoying. There's kind of a lip in there to grab the cassettes, but it doesn't always work. But if you press this in 2 times, you can actually store 3 cassettes in here at once. And that was something everyone wished you could do in real life as far as the original toy, because on a cartoon he had his whole army was inside of his chest. He could eject like 7, 8 cassettes at once. So now he has 3 guys in there. Push eject. It's not acting right. Eject. Come on. Yeah, that's the main problem with this toy. His main #1 gimmick. It doesn't work all the time. Now I can eject that. His next cassette moved into the spot automatically. But typically you have to press this button on his back to move them forward. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Yeah. It moved him all the way forward. And now that cassette could come out. I'll go ahead and leave one of them in there just for a show. Anywho. Other chest features, he has this optional info grid chest plate that fits over his original one. And on the show he would have like a diagram or something in there. You could print out something to put on there to make it look like he's showing like schematics of something right there. He was also the character who made the Energon cubes. So you get this empty Energon cube container. You could print out something and put that in there too, because they didn't color it to be that glowy purple. But if you move that bottom off like I just did, you can actually plug it into here. Come on, get in there. I'm not crazy. What the heck? Come on. Wow, that doesn't want to work, but okay. You could get him into an Energon producing pose right there. So that's neat if anybody cares about that. The battery is stored on his back. You can unplug that. You start pulling it out. There's a handle on the bottom. Grab that, and as you grab that, this barrel shoots out. The barrel is actually hollow on the tip. Come on. And then you basically have to grab it with your fingernails and pull it all the way the rest of the way out. And it is definitely cartoon / toy faithful. His hand opens up. These 3 fingers move independently. This finger has a little knuckle so he can point if you wanted to. Well, basically there's a peg hole there. You grab this gun and plug it into the hand. And I normally never have this much trouble. Let's pause. Plug it into the hand, wrap the fingers around, and now he has his blaster. It even has a fake button there, which is actually the peg that was on his back. And with this hand, you have to be careful, because this finger likes to pop up off the knuckle. You can take this Megatron he comes with, elongate that, put it in his hand, close the fingers around it, and now he can wield Megatron and blast Optimus in the face. Cool, right? Due to his awesome arm joints, he can press his own eject button here. Press it. You're making me look stupid. Work. If it ever gets jammed, you can just basically pull on it. And it'll work itself loose. Maybe aim them down like that so you can get at the cassettes inside. One more thing you can do with his hand is unplug this from his buttocks. That blaster subwoofer thingamabibby that he used in probably like 1 or 2 episodes. It plugs there on his butt. It stays there securely. You don't have to worry about it. You open his arm, and right there you can see speaker details, which is cool. So you can have him blasting sound waves at people without even putting this on there. You put his hands like this, blast sounds at him. Shut that. Take this little thing, and it pegs right here. And now he can blow precision sound waves at people or maybe do mind control or whatever you want it to be at the moment. What's cool is it's even detailed on this side. I never really paid attention to that till yesterday. Here's a cool thing. Soundwave has these clear tabs on his forearms, both forearms. And what he can do with that is, Buzzsaw and Laserbeak have little grooves in their feet right there. You could peg them right here on that little clear tab. And now they securely perch on Soundwave's arm. Another cool thing, X-Transbot's Apollyon, aka Masterpiece Megatron, has that same tab on his left forearm. So Laserbeak can be posted up there on him.
Laserbeak, my main man. Caw! While I'm still here, check this out. Cool. Inception. My index finger can even reach the trigger.
You're still here? Bless your heart. This is the last feature I'm going to show off in robot mode that I can think of. I hope I haven't missed anything. But these pile drivers, rumbles and frenzies, if you take this clip, you can plug this on the side of his arms right here. And now he has pile drivers or extra cannons or whatever you want to call it. Come on. Why does everything go wrong on camera? Anyway, you can pull him forward, act like he's pile driving, whatever, but you get the picture there. Articulation time, and you can take it upon yourself to look at the intricate details as I go along this guy. Like you can see those missiles inside of that. Anywho, he has a neck. He can look up and down and go around 360. Shoulders go out like this. They can go out some more like that if you don't want to lift that joint. His bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that can smash totally up against his bicep. Rotation there, can wiggle a little bit, and I already showed off the hands. And if you want to mistransform him, his arms can go back like that, just like the G1 toy. He has a waist. His legs can kick forward that much. Tight, tight ratchets. Ugly tattoo there. He has thigh swivel, and his legs can go out like that. Some people don't like this joint right there, but I don't care. He can kick forward, and he can sit down if you want him to, which is always nice. He has a rotation at the top of his knee, his 90-degree bend in the knee, ankle pivot in both directions on this weird joint, and I believe, no, his foot can go back. I thought it could go forward, but let's see. Nah, it doesn't really go forward that much. But you can get this dude in a ton of cool poses. This came undone. Here's a pose I just came up with on the fly. So, as you can see, if you ever hear anybody complaining about the legs, tell them to shut the hell up. Because, yeah, he is super duper poseable. Before I go to transformation, I'm pretty sure somebody wants to see this comparison. And here they go. G1 Soundwave next to Masterpiece Soundwave. They look very similar. Some people will look at this guy and think that, oh, that's the original Soundwave. But that's because they don't remember this guy. He was really good for his time. He had some good articulation. Like his arms can go back like that, and he actually has elbow. He can actually sit down like that guy. His joints are tight, even though this is a 30-year-old toy. But he doesn't have knees. And his head can rotate. Anyhow, here are their faces. They both have the yellow eyes, as you can see. The Decepticon symbol is based on this guy's noggin. But they have a ton of the same details. which I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see at the same time. Like a lot of the buttons and whatnot. This guy just doesn't have any stickers. I never bought the Repro label stickers. They cheaped out on the deco over here. But ton of similarities. He's a lighter blue. The dials are even on the back of the legs. And they both have die-cast feet. I didn't mention that. His are darker, of course. But this guy's transformation is nowhere near as simple as this dude's. In fact, it's so simple I'm gonna just do it right now. Yeah, he's done. This guy is gonna take way more steps than that. Transformation. First thing you want to do, because I always forget this, push the upper half of his body back. So now his crotch is shifted forward a little bit. Go ahead and take this gun out of his hand if you haven't already. Push this handle up. Push this all in like that. And attach it on his back with this peg. Let me raise things. I didn't think to do that ahead of time. And this guy is awful tall. This little sonic sound weapon thingy, you can go ahead and attach that to his butt. You never need to take that off. Take this, rotate it, swing it down, open this, take his head, start in there, open this panel, flip the hand in, close these fingers because I didn't, open this panel, flip his hand in, bring the hands down like this. Let's see, open these panels on the back of his shoulders right here. On both sides. Flip the arms back. They cover the batteries right there. And basically you're done with the arms. Legs. First thing you want to do, lift this crotch panel forward. Bring these two pieces up. Separate them. Now you can bring them down like that. Go ahead and push the feet down like this on both sides for now. Rotate this way, rotate this way, but keep his legs straight. There's a button right here. Push that and collapse his legs down, but start rotating this up at the same time until you meet the top right here. And this stuff should peg into place. Well, actually, before you start pegging that into place, swing this down, turn this way, and swing this into the spot right there. Now it should peg into place better. Bring this down, the foot that was sticking up like this, bring it down, and clip it into the panels right there. Yeah, squeeze it hard. I was scared to squeeze it hard. Push the button over here. Squeeze that. Bend that up there. Put it up there to here. Bring this down and around and clip that into there. Push this hard. Bring this down and peg it into place. Now we can slide this crotch panel up and bam, he's transformed. And that was not as hard as I thought it was going to be on camera. I mean, squeeze it to make sure it's all together. And basically, he's a heavy cassette player. Unrealistic micro cassette player because this is very big. I guess you could pretend he's a boombox now. He's significantly thicker than this guy. This guy has a belt clip. Has a faux belt clip, but it doesn't work, of course. His battery's on the inside, whereas this guy's battery's still in there. Anyhow, they tried to modernize him. They gave him like SD card slots, multiple headphone jacks right there. He has a headphone jack up there. I believe you could fit a real headphone jack inside of there. I mean cord cable. On this side, same thing. Equalizers and whatnot. This is, I guess, the on-off switch. Volume rocker that just turns a little bit, unlike this one that rolls. And this has an on-off switch right there too. You can see their speakers are in the same spot. Left and right details right there. This has an actual physical, that's actually molded in that power button right there, whereas this is just a sticker. But they're still very, very similar. And of course, the tape deck feature still works. He has a couple of bonus features in this mode, whereas like Rumble is in there right now. So Rumble has weapons that need to be stored somewhere. So let's say you're carrying this around in Rumble, but you want Rumble to have his weapons, and Soundwave has his weapons already, all of them. So if you open this panel right here that's in his foot, which I'm not gonna lie is difficult to do, I can only open it because I have this fingernail right here. You take his gun, his specific gun, the other one has to go on this side. The gun that's shaped like this, and you have to have the more thicker barrel sticking out. Put that in here. I hope I have this right. Stick it in here. Go in there. Yeah, get that in there. And you can actually shut that up and hide both of his weapons inside of Soundwave's feet, which is a nice feature. I don't see too many people using that because that would mean you're actually playing with this thing like a real toy. And he can, normally you would just put them off to the side and store the weapons inside of these things. Anywho, while I'm mentioning these things, he did something in Transformers the movie, in the beginning of the movie, the original animated movie. He transformed into a cassette deck, and he combined with the computer there in their battle station. If you take this part, disconnect, put this here, and grab these two parts, extend these, connect them right here, get in there. Then once they're connected, you can go ahead and where does it go? Oh, here. You can connect this to this part right here, and you can pretend these are like cables, audio visual cables to connect to a computer somewhere. Let's pretend this Soundwave is a computer, but there's that. But I believe, you know what, that's about that for that mode. I can't think of anything else. I mean, this is really cool, and this has a lot of weight to it. It feels substantial in my hand right now. It's just a big old box to anyone that wasn't born in the 80s or late 80s. Here they are in an action scene with their leader and Thundercracker. I don't have the realistic, I mean the cartoon accurate Starscream, so had to fill in with Thundercracker right there. Anywho, I just realized I didn't compare him to G1 Optimus, or G1 Colored Masterpiece Optimus. But anywho, they are very close to the same height. He's slightly shorter than Optimus. I'm not gonna stand him up, but anyway, this is an extremely nice set. A set that when I heard about him, that he was gonna be $119. Well, all of this was gonna be $119. I basically lived at Toys R Us. I went there every day first thing in the morning, like as soon as they opened up. And I was lucky enough to get there at 10 o'clock. There was one other guy there with he had 2 young toddlers. So I was like, I know he's probably here for Soundwave too. But let me just let him go in. So he went in with the toddlers, and I let them go in like a gentleman because he had kids. And I zipped around him and went to the aisle. And I was able to grab a box. And the guy came into the aisle like his heart was beating like when he saw me with the box. But luckily for him, there was another box there. But anyway, all of these figures, all 6 of these figures are masterpieces. And I'm extremely happy to own them. But the only problem I had with Soundwave is that chest ejection feature not working all the time. And oh yeah, this finger popping off of the little joint that it has there. Other than that, I can't really think of any problems. He's perfect. He truly is a masterpiece. I mean, the little guys are what they are. I wish Rumble and Frenzy had better ankle articulation to make them pose a little bit easier as far as their feet. But they have a lot of joints, and I'm just shocked at the engineering they were able to get into all 5 of those minions. So I'm satisfied. I cannot complain. Good luck to anyone who's trying to get this figure now, because if you want all of these people, more than likely you're going to be spending like $300 trying to get all 6 of these. So good luck to you. Anyway, subscribe, share, like if you liked it, liked if you disliked it. You must have liked it if you stayed this long, because this is going to be I know this is a long video. Anyway, comment. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here.